You will never believe the racist policy Sound Transit just expanded. Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show, presented by None Better Tax Resolution. Back in December of 2020, the Sound Transit Board took a bold and powerful, nay, a brave stance and declared fair enforcement to be racist. Guided by equity, social justice, anti-racism, they decided to stop fair enforcement as we know it, because the data was startling.
The agency found that while African Americans make up 9% of passengers, 22% of those caught up in the fair enforcement system are black.
Now, normal folks, of course, look at the stats and realize that black riders were disproportionately riding without paying. But this was in 2020, during the Black Lives Matter anti-racism craze. White liberals were looking for anything and everything to declare racist so they could swoop in as white saviors. It was noble and necessary, and brave. Did I mention brave? But soon, Sound Transit realized that people were just stealing free rides. I know, I was shocked too. They had a massive hole in their budget, and they needed to act. Now, of course, they didn't admit that fair enforcement was never actually racist. With the intellectual depth of a kiddie pool, they prefer performative politics over actually running a light rail system. So what did they do? Well, they brought back fair enforcement, and now they're expanding it. Not only will they ask you for tickets while you're on the actual train, but they're also doing ticket checks on the platform. Show me your papers. They're starting in the 4 downtown stations where I think there's a disproportionate number of black, brown, and homeless riders. That's right, folks. Turns out they're going back to racism again. They're doing exactly what they said was racist before, but now it's somehow not racist because reasons. So what's the takeaway here? It's actually simple. Fair enforcement isn't inherently racist. If people use a service, they should actually pay for it. And it's crucial to hold public officials accountable when they pull these kinds of stunts. If we apply this solution, simply enforcing fares fairly and consistently, we can ensure that public transportation is adequately funded and also maintained. No more free rides at the expense of the system, and it's paying customers. We can have a transit system that works for everyone without the performative politics. Remember, common sense isn't dead. It's been on a little bit of a break in the Seattle area. So let's bring it back one ticket check at a time. Jason Rantz here with Greg Nunn, your local tax expert and advocate. Greg, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey Jason, great to be with you again and talk about these tax issues.
So some folks out there have the IRS calling them nonstop or even coming to their door. What do you recommend they do?
You are protected by statute, by law, that when you have representation, they have to deal with your representative. And I am acting in your best interest when I'm dealing with the IRS. And I tell you, you don't want to talk to them, it'll just stress you out.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Greg might be able to negotiate a settlement for up to 85% off the original amount owed, and that includes penalties and interest. Call Greg Nunn today. Did you like that commentary? Make sure you subscribe to the podcast of The Jason Rantz Show. Get it at KTTH.com or wherever it is you download your podcasts.